Today is the day, July 13. I've been walking toward this day for 7 weeks now, naming it from a distance, approaching it slowly, trying to be honest about what it carries, and now it's here, and I'm sitting with you in it. I don't have a formula for today. I don't have a tidy way to wrap up 7 weeks of grief into a conclusion. What I have is this morning and what it holds, and the God who is already here in it. This is Healing Heartstrings, and this is week 7, the last week of our arc, July 13. The anniversary of my mommy's passing. I've wanted to say her name out loud today. Her name was Mami, Myra, and I love her more than I have words for. And today is the 8th year. I want to be honest about what today feels like before I say anything else, because I think there's pressure, even in grief spaces, even in faith spaces, to arrive at the anniversary with something to show for it. Some growth, some peace, some sign that the year was not wasted. And I do have those things, but I also woke up this morning and the first thing I felt was just her absence. Not a lesson, not a breakthrough, just the fact of her not being here, which is still, after all this time, the most surprising thing in the world to me. I don't think that means I haven't healed. I think that that's just what love does on the days that matter. It doesn't step aside to make room for your progress. It just shows up and tells the truth. Psalm 23:4 says, "Even though I walk through the darkest valley, I will fear no evil, for you are with me. Your rod and your staff, they comfort me." Though the darkest valley, not around it, not past it, through. The valley is not a place you leave. It's a place you walk through. And the promise isn't that the valley disappears. It's that you are not alone in it. He is with you in the through. I want to say something about her today, not because I think I can do her justice in a video, but because she deserves to be named. She deserves to be more than the loss in a grief channel. My mommy was the kind of person who made every room feel warmer just by being in it. The kind of person whose love you didn't have to earn. It was just there, steady, the way the sun is just there. She showed up. She made you feel like you mattered without ever saying it in so many words, just by the way she looked at you. And she always had faith. I miss her voice. I miss the specific way she said my name. I miss the ordinary things, not the big moments, the ordinary ones. The phone calls about nothing, the way she'd ask if I'd eaten, the way that she would just cook for me and take care of me. The feeling of being known by someone who had known me my whole life. Grief this specific, grief that knows exactly what it lost, is hard, but is also evidence of something. You don't miss what wasn't real. You don't ache for what didn't matter. The specificity of the missing is the shape of the love, and I would not trade the love to be spared the missing. If you have a person like that, someone whose absence has a specific shape, I see you today. Your grief is not generic. It is shaped like someone real, and that person mattered. I've been thinking about what I would say on this day since we started this arc, and I keep coming back to the same thing. I did not expect God to be this faithful. That might sound like a strange thing to say, but I think when you're in the early days of grief, when everything is raw and the world feels fundamentally wrong, you don't know yet what the year will hold. You don't know if you'll make it through. You don't know if your faith will hold or if this will be the thing that breaks it. Mine didn't break. And I don't say that to perform strength. I say it because I genuinely surprised. Because there were moments in this year when I would not have put money on it, when the silence felt too long and the weight felt too heavy and I didn't have a single word to pray. And he was faithful anyway. Not because I did everything right, not because my faith was strong, but because his faithfulness is not a reward for ours. It is a fact about who he is. His compassions never fail. His rod and his staff, the tools of a shepherd who is paying attention, they comfort. Even in the valley, even in the hard days, even today. 8 years of grief has taught me that walking through the valley does not mean the valley ends. It means you are moving even when it doesn't feel like it. And he is moving with you. I want to speak for a moment to anyone who is in the early days. Maybe you're watching this weeks or months after a loss. Maybe the anniversary is still far away. Maybe you can't imagine being on the other side of the first year because right now the first week still feels impossible. I want to tell you what I wish someone had told me at the beginning of this year. You are going to make it through. Not because it gets easy, not because the missing goes away, but because he does not abandon the people he loves in the valley. He walks through it with them, and there is something that happens in the walking slowly without any single breakthrough moment that changes you. Not into someone who is over it, into someone who has been with God in the hardest thing. That's not a small thing. That is one of the most significant things that can happen to a person. To have been in the valley and to know in your body, not just in your theology, that he was there. You are going to know that. You don't know it yet because you're still in the middle, but it is coming. The valley has a through. I want to end here on the day itself with the only thing I know for certain. He is with me today, not in spite of what today is, because of it. The shepherd who walks through the valley is not absent on the hardest day. He is most present there. The rod and the staff that comfort are not metaphors for later. They are for now, for this morning, for this specific July 13. My mommy is not here, and that is still, even after 8 years, the most disorienting sentence I know how to say. But she was loved, she was known, and the God who knit her together knew her far more completely than I ever could. And she is with him now in a way that does not diminish or disappear. And I am here, still walking, still in the valley in some days, and in other ways further through than I could have imagined in the early days, carried by a faithfulness that is not mine. If you have a day like today, a date that holds the weight of everything, I am sitting with you in it. You are not alone. He is with you, and the valley has a through. I love you, Mommy. Thank you for everything you gave me. I'll carry it forward. If today met you on a hard day, whether it's July 13 or a different date entirely, I'm so glad you're here. I have a free set of 10 scripture cards I created for seasons exactly like this one. The link is in the description and in the comments below. If you want to go deeper, I also have a 30-day devotional called 30 Days of Healing After Loss on Amazon. It was written for the days that feel impossible and the ones that feel almost okay, and every day in between. And a faith-based self-care ebook for when grief lives in your body. Both links are in the description. The arc is complete. 7 weeks, July 13. We walked toward it together and we made it to the other side of it together. Thank you for being here. This is Healing Heartstrings, and I will see you next week.